Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Art Therapy Thursday and we're going to kind of combine a Fun Stuff Friday with Art Therapy Thursday because I have a bunch of different things that I need to try out, test out, and play with. So we're going to try out this wonderful mat that I was gifted for Christmas, and it's a silicone mat that has our areas up here for mixing paint. It has a paint cup and it's a nice silicone mat to paint on. So we'll be trying that out. I will also be, I got a spot. I will also be testing out a travel kit that Grabie sent me. Grabie is a retail company that sells art supplies, and they sent me this for review. And it's an entire watercolor travel set, and it all fits in this little tiny bag, which is awesome for throwing in your purse. It comes with a small paint palette. You can, of course, replace these paints with new paints or replace each used up paint as you go. Now, the colors that are in here are these colors. The swatch itself had all sorts of paint on it, so like just chunks, I guess not even chunks, dust from the paint palette itself. So it did get messed up a little bit, but we have lemon yellow, cadmium orange, cadmium red, rose, ultramarine, royal purple, cerulean blue, sap green, burnt umber, red copper, Payne's gray, and white. So we'll be mixing these colors as we go if we decide that we want to do that. So it comes with the wonderful little palette as well as the swatch card. It also comes with a little book, a little travel-sized book of watercolor paper. I've been playing in it. As you can see, we're not going to use a piece that I've colored on or attempted to draw on. We're not even going to look at those. But the pages just come right out, and they're a solid small page of watercolor paper. It's a nice thick watercolor paper. Wouldn't suggest putting it through your printer, a little bit thick for that. It also comes with a pencil sharpener. Now you would think, okay, I'm painting here, why do I need a pencil sharpener? The reason being is it does come with a charcoal stick as well, so you can draw. It comes in this little tiny holder, which allows you to draw without getting the charcoal all over your hand, which is awesome. It also comes with an eraser, which mine is dirty, to erase the charcoal. It comes with a travel paintbrush. I love this paintbrush. It is the awesome sauce of of my painting world. And believe me, that's not very big. But it screws on and it comes out, and then you screw this on the end like so to make a full paintbrush. When you put it back, even if you put it back wet, you're not going to have any issues because there is a drain hole there. So there's an air hole there which will help dry your brush, which is very cool as well. And finally, it comes with a lovely brush nibbed pen so that you can ink in your areas after you're done. Sorry about that. I had to cough. So we're going to take our brush and we're going to try something on the mat. And hopefully this works. Now, if you're out and working with this as a travel set. Like I'm at home. Let's face it, I'm not out in the world today, so if you are out traveling, you may not want to do this, but this is something that I want to give a try. I'm just going to wet these down. So that they are easier to pick up paint. Sometimes you just got to get things wet. That just sounded wrong. Sometimes you have to activate the paint before you can paint with it, if that makes it any better. Just making sure I've gotten that dark color off of there because I'm going into the white. Should have actually grabbed another. I should have grabbed my other cup. But because this one has one built in, I didn't think about it. Because I am not proficient whatsoever in watercolor painting or painting in general. This is something that I fiddle with every once in a while. I'm getting better with it, but I am not a watercolor artist whatsoever. It is not my go-to, but I do play with it, and I do try to learn and build skill with it. All right. So now we've got those all wet. Now I'm going to take this one here, and we're going to put it down on the mat here. Like so. So as you can see, I've got a good amount of blue here. And I'm going to put a bunch of water down because we want this to be a watercolor thing, right? All right, now we're going to put some green in there. Move that around. And like I said, I'm just playing at this point. This is not something I've ever done before. And I want to see what we can do with this thing of water as well as with the mat. Because the mat is silicone, it's waterproof. So you can put water on the mat for that watercolor effect. All right, now we're going to put some brown down. And we're going to go up in here with a little bit more water. And we're going to take that Payne's Gray And we're going to put some of that in there too. Like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our card and we're going to put it right on top of it. And we're going to squish it around. And then we're going to pick it up. And it did not do what I wanted it to, but it did do a pretty thing, but it did not do exactly what I wanted it to. But that's fine. That is fine. So we're going to take our sponge that comes with the pad, and we're going to soak all this up. And clean all that up. There we go. All cleaned up. So it didn't do what I wanted it to do on the paper, so that's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the water around here. We're going to put in some fresh water down here. So as you can see, the paper is starting to bow. I don't know if this is a normal occurrence with watercolor paper, but I'm not liking it. So just saying. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting in some blue here for the sky area. Rinse off my brush. Pick up some of the Payne's gray as well. That time I just picked up some water and I'm just moving that Payne's gray across the skyline there. And then I want a little bit more of this blue. So right now I'm just doing the sky area. And then we're going to take our brown. And we're going to do a little mountain area here. Of course, the more water you add, the lighter the color is going to be, which is fine. And the more the color is going to spread, which is also fine. And then we're going to take our green and we're going to do a bit of a tree area. I'm just going to let it grow off the side of the mountain here. Now we're going to let this dry and then we'll ink in our detail areas, if that makes sense. Add a bit more green. Now, we're going to transform this area here a bit. Getting the water in there. We're going to take our browns and we're going to come out like this into that area there. Like so. Bring a little bit more of that brown back here. And then we're going to take our deep blue. We're going to bring it down here a little bit. Into that light blue. We're going to take some more of the light blue. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just making different colors in the sky, different dimensions of the sky. And building off of the colors that we've already got up there. Thinning them out, spreading them around, covering up that texture on the paper. Alright, now we're going to use one of these areas here and we're going to mix a color. So we're going to take green. And then we're going to take blue. We're going to start with dark blue first. And it looks like I need, let's see, yeah, need a little bit more blue in that. Yeah, that's better. Still just a touch more blue. That's better. Alright, now down here at the bottom, I'm going to take that blue-green and we're going to bring it up for the depth of the water area. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to mix some green. Put some water in there. Take some green. Load the brush up. Put it in the palette. And we're going to take the light blue. And we're just going to put lots and lots of light blue in there. Rinse it off. The reason why I'm rinsing between loading of the brush is obviously so that I don't get that blue-green in my blue. And one more, I think, of the blue. And this brush works really nicely and it stays in shape, which is awesome. Alright, now we're going to come down with this light blue-green. Like so. And mixing those colors together. Getting a movement in the dimension there. Now, if you have too much water on your page and you feel you have too much water on your page, you can definitely use a paper towel and dab some of it up. I'm not too concerned about it right at this point. Want a little bit of water on the page, so. I'm just going to go right into that with the skyline. Color here. And put a bit of white in that as well. Just to give us our skyline. And I may have to come back and redo that after I add the skyline. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this blue and we're going to make it even lighter. So we're going to put this in here. And it's a nice light blue as it is, but I want it a little bit lighter. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up some white. And fill up our brush with the white. And we're going to mix it into this blue. And we're just going to lighten that blue up. We're going to come off of there. I think we're going to add a little bit more water. To get that watercolor movement. Just going to add a little bit of water here so that it flows up into the other area without causing too much of a harsh line. And then we're going to dry this off We're going to pick up that blue again and fill it in. Getting that blended into each other there. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to let this dry, obviously. And we're going to try to remove a little bit of this down here at the bottom, just with my brush, so that that wood or dirt area still showing there. From the mountain. There we go. And that is our play for today. Now we're going to let this dry and then we'll draw a scene on it. So if you don't want to wait for that to dry, let's see if we can pick up some of this mess without some water. I need to wet the sponge. Oh, it makes a lovely squeaky noise. So if you want to play and do this first, you can go through and sketch out what you wanted to put there. So I have sketched out, oh, I did that on the other side, okay. I have sketched out and added the pen work for this. These are, you know, some of the only things I can draw. So this is all you get, guys. Sorry. So we're going to pick up some of that brown and we're going to come down off the mountain with it. And then we're going to just put some water on our brush. We don't want to rinse off all the paint, but we want to move that paint down a little. And then a little more, making it lighter as we go down. All right, now we're going to put some green bushes on there because we can. So I'm going to take some water and the green, and we're just going to put some little bushes. Maybe some grasses. And I'm going to take some water and we're just going to move this around a little, blending it down. I know I just, completely blended in my little bushes there, but that's okay. I didn't like them. So basically, I'm just playing with these. Like I said, the set is available on Grabie's website, and I will be leaving a link to those in the description below. There is a coupon code that you can use to receive a percentage off from Grabie. And this seems to be a really good little set. Like I said, I drew this previously um, to show you that the marker and like the pen itself can be used to draw fairly thin lines as well as thicker lines if you want them. The paints work really nicely. They do blend together quite nicely. I'm going to take a little bit of the water and I'm going to take just a touch of this red brown here, and I'm just going to slowly blend that together so that there's less of a harsh line there. Now I want it lighter down here than up there, so I'm not going to take too much away from that dark area up top, but I do want this area here to blend in to that dirt area. The best way to do that is just to add a little bit of paint and then move it around. Like so. Alright, and there we have our mountainside. Now we're going to take our green and we're going to mix this with our Payne's gray. So I'm going to put this green here because I want a darker green. So I'm going to rinse off my brush and we're going to take some Payne's gray and just a little bit. I think I put too much. Yeah, that's too much. So I've got too much gray there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the green again. Load up my brush. And basically mixing paint and mixing color, pencil and everything else is a bit of a trial and error. See how much you need, play with it a little bit. There is really no right or wrong in your mixing or coloring. Basically, you do it whatever color you want. So I'm just doing the trees up here. And a couple of little bushes down here. On the back of the house. Maybe a couple beside the house. Like so. Now I want my house to be purple because we haven't used it yet. And I like purple. but mainly because we haven't used it. And just like with any other thing, when you're using watercolor or water-based paint pens or anything like that, when you put down the color, you need to let it dry, and then you can darken the color as you need. I'm going to take a little bit of the orange, and we're going to do the roof line here. So even getting into these little tiny, tiny, tiny details, this brush is doing quite well. I'm going to do the porch and the orange as well, because sure, why not? Then we're going to take our water grain here. And we're going to do our water. Because what cabin is not on the ocean or on the lake? What kind of cabin is that? If it's a cabin, it needs to be on a lake. I'm just saying. Or in the woods on the side of a mountain. But then you need a water source nearby, so it should just be on the lake. All right. So there's our lake. Now I'm going to do our skyline. So I'm going to take the light blue. And we're just going to bring that up. Like so. And then we're going to rinse that off. Yes, I missed the cup. It's okay. That's the great thing about his silicone pad. All right, now we're going to take our dark blue and just a touch more water. We're just going to come into that light blue and we're going to come up. Water. Get into the water. Try not to have any major drips. Oh, I just picked up the wrong one. Alright. Picked up the wrong color, so we're just going to dull it out. Move it up. We're going to pick up this blue and white mixture and we're just going to move this color out. Blending it in. Making a mess. I'm making a mess, people. Sorry. It's not doing what I want it to do, and I think it's because there's a curve in the paper. So I'm just going to Move that around a little bit and then we'll fix it. All right. Now we're going to do this again. We're going to do our light blue down here at the bottom. Bringing that up. And then our dark blue with a little bit more water this time so that I don't run out of color or movement. Crap. And this is why I don't play with watercolor, because I make a mess. I'm just going to try to clean that up. It's picked up the orange from my house roof, and I don't want that. And that's my own fault. It's nothing to do with the paint itself. It's just cause I suck. Alright, so we're just going to leave that alone for a moment here. And then we're going to take this darker color and we're just going to come down. Into there. And try not to touch the house. So we need a little bit of this color. Trying not to get water on anything that we don't want to move. Probably why it's better to do the sky first. Just saying. And just a little touch of this one. That Payne's Gray is a very, very pigmented color. Even just a little touch on the brush is giving me this dark pigmentation on the brush. Which is kind of cool, but I was surprised with the amount of dark that it put out. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to take our brush and we're going to dry it off the best we can. Not enough. And we're going to go through and we're just going to soften that joint there. Trying not to remove the pigment from the page like that. Same with up here. Move some of that pigment around a little bit with a little bit of water. Trying not to remove it from the page. Now, last but not least, we're going to take some white. First, we're going to pick this up out of it, because we've got some blue on the white. do that white there, nice and thick. Then we're going to come down. The water line there. Always best to do this when it's dry, but I was hoping it was a little drier. And there we have it. And then you can put in little clouds. Add some more white. One thing about watercolor is it does make the clouds look a little bit more fluid. So it does make them look a lot more realistic. All right, so there we have it, our fun little house on the lake. And I just put in a little bit of blue there for the window. And, you know, what you can do with this one once it's dry is the same thing. You can color in or draw in the picture, and then it's already there for you. You can add a little bit of colored pencil detail to it and that sort of thing. So colored pencils and watercolor do work well together. So if you want to add watercolor to a background, that sort of thing, I would suggest doing that first, such as this, you know, where I've done the background first, and I'll draw in the little scene and then go from there. It's the same thing with your colored pencil work. Say you have a piece that you want to do, but you want to do a watercolor background. Print out your piece, let it dry overnight, tape it down, do your watercolor, and then do your colored pencil on top of that. Unless you know your colored pencil is completely water resistant and isn't going to cause issue with your colored pencil. Colored pencil does tend to move with water. There are some brands that are not that are water resistant that don't move a whole lot with water, but most colored pencil will move around with water. All right, guys, that is my fiddle-in for the day. Again, this is a wonderful small travel set. It comes with a paint palette with our basic colors, which is fantastic. You can mix and match all of these colors to get a really, really great palette. We have our Payne's Gray, White, Red Copper, Burnt Umber, Sap Green, Cerulean Blue, Royal Purple, Ultramarine, Rose, Cadmium Red, Cadmium Orange, and Lemon Yellow. And they are very, very pigmented, and they move very nicely together. If you are, you know, good at painting, which I'm not. It also comes with this wonderful little charcoal drawing stick, and it comes with a holder so that you don't have to get your hands dirty. It does have a pencil sharpener to sharpen said stick, like that, which you could also do charcoal rubs with. It also comes with this pen for inking in your designs, and it does work quite nicely. Even on the wet paper. So now that I've messed that up and got that brown there, I can make that the chimney. There's always a repair, I guess. And there we have it. So it does draw on the wet as well. So if I wanted to do this one here, and say I wanted to put some definition in these trees here, I can do that. Like so. Move the mountain down. Make this into a boulder that's about to break free. Little one holding it in place. You know, that sort of thing. So you can definitely use this in while it's wet. I would suggest you wait until it's a little bit drier than I am, but you can definitely do that. So it comes with that as well as a little eraser, which works wonderfully with your drawing stick. It also comes with a travel paintbrush, and the travel paintbrush stays in shape, even if you try to bend it out of shape. It does keep its shape very, very nicely, which has a lovely, lovely fine point to it, but it also covers larger areas. This is a travel pen, travel brush, so you can put the lid on it, screw it on, and nothing in your bag is going to get wet. It all comes in this wonderful Grabie bag, as well as the swatch chart and the wonderful little book of paper that you can practice with. This is a, let's see, Wespa, I think. It is a silicone mat that a friend of mine sent me for Christmas, and it works wonderfully. I'm actually really impressed. I'm going to take a wet cloth to it and wash it all off, but I don't have any paint on my workstation, and I have my cup here, so it's not going to tip over. I'm not going to move it anywhere. It just stays there. Now I wonder if it comes off. Nope, it doesn't seem to. Maybe it does. Nope, doesn't seem to. I'm not going to fiddle with it and try to get it off while it's full of water. Let's not do that. It comes with some mixing stations, some paint stations, as well as some mixing stations. I just used them for mixing because I didn't have any squeeze paint. So if you have squeeze paint, you just fill up your paint channels with your squeeze paint, and you can use these two stations here for mixing, or the littler ones, whatever floats your boat. They do blend very nicely. They do move very nicely. And as you can see, I got some of that charcoal on it, and it just gave me some little birds, which is awesome. All right, guys, with that, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this segment of Art Therapy Thursday as I play with the Grabie Travel Paint Set. Again, this is the travel kit. It comes with the paints. It comes with a superior pen, extra small. It comes with a charcoal drawing stick, a travel paintbrush, a sharpener, an eraser, and of course some paper. And it all comes in this wonderful little travel bag. Pretty much everything you need to do some painting on the go. All right, guys, with that, oh, and I also want to say Grabie did send me this without charge for review as a gift. So I am not obligated to get Grabie to state that it is the best thing ever, because that's not what we agreed to. I have agreed to give a 100% honest review of the product to the best of my ability. And the best of my ability says they are actually really nice. I like the color of them. I like the pigmentation of them. I like being able to mix the colors and create new colors. And they give you enough colors to do that with. And with that being said, always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube artist that you enjoy. I will leave the links to the Grabie website below the video. It will also have a coupon code for the coupon for watching this video and all of that fun stuff. Until next time, guys, thank you all very much for watching. Always remember to relax, color, and stay safe, everyone. Until next time, bye-bye for now.